Well, hello. Thanks for joining me. I know last session we met and you were able to share quite a bit about your backstory and what you've been going through. Just a lot of the stresses at work and stuff. How has that been going this last week since we met?
Kind of the same,
Okay.
not really better.
Not better.
Not worse, but not better.
Okay. Can you just elaborate a little bit more?
Yeah, I think I've had a couple of more therapists resign, kind of out of the blue, which is unfortunate. And so now I'm trying to scramble to fill those slots and reschedule those patients. And also, I might have to change around the schedules of some of my current therapists,
Mhm.
which I'm worried isn't going to go over well.
And what is that?
It involves weekend work,
Oh, is
which
that
is not anybody's idea of a good time generally.
okay? Is that like an issue for the department?
Yes.
Okay, and then that's essentially your issue as like the manager now.
Right.
Okay. How has it been? I know you had shared like the last 6 months have been hard because you were not officially the manager, but now that they're awarding you that position, how does that feel?
I mean, it feels fine. It feels like
Okay.
my job doesn't change at all, I think. And I feel like my boss has treated me like the manager for a long, so I feel like it's a bit of a technicality. I think I deserve it, but I don't feel like it changes a whole lot.
It sounds like you've been working hard.
Mm-hmm.
So then how has that affected like your stress levels and home life?
Being promoted? Or,
Promoted and the stress and just kind of all of it.
oh, being promoted doesn't do anything.
Okay.
That's just, again, status quo. I mean, it will be nice to be paid a little bit more, but
Yeah.
I mean, this job is definitely the most stressful job I've ever had.
Yeah. It sounds like it from what you've been describing.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you feel stress level right now?
Probably like 6 or 7.
6 or 7. Okay.
Yeah.
So then when you're at home, what does that look like? Like when you kind of start to go into that sense of like overwhelmed emotions and
I've been noticing I haven't been sleeping as good. I have a lot of like stress dreams.
okay.
Like I was dreaming about changing people's schedules around last night, which is kind of a lame dream.
Yeah.
Usually I don't dream at all, so when
Okay.
I do dream, it's like, uh-oh.
Very realistic dreams.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think I just also get to the point where I like need to just stare at my phone for a prolonged period of time and kind of check out from everyone else, which is hard when you get home and you have dinner and the kids and bedtime and
Sounds like a
like
lot.
to make it through all of that is tricky
Yeah.
sometimes.
It does sound like a lot, yeah. Are you familiar with any like mindfulness techniques or grounding techniques? I know you said you've done therapy in the past, so I didn't know if that was something.
Yeah, I struggle with mindfulness. Every time I have tried it in the past, it makes me fall asleep.
Okay.
Or, well, maybe more meditation, but
Yeah. Okay. Would you be willing to practice something just that way you can take home?
sure.
Okay. This one is just dropping the anchor. If you were to picture yourself as a ship in the harbor, and then all of a sudden this storm came up, and we'll call it the storm of emotions or feelings or stress or anxiety. If the ship is not tied down to anything or anchored, what's going to happen to it?
Flip into the marina.
So smashed to bits. So essentially, dropping the anchor kind of secures yourself, and then you can ride through the storm. It's not pushing those feelings away. It's not negating them. Like they are real. They're happening, but you are kind of securing yourself mentally. So what you can do is, and it really just takes a minute or two, is if you can kind of follow my example. So you start to feel these emotions coming on. You can take a moment, pause, and close your eyes if you would like, but maybe for you, don't do that because you might fall asleep. But you're just going to kind of experience what's going on in your body. You're going to acknowledge that there's stress, but you're going to maybe push your feet into the ground. You're going to put your hands together if you want, and just kind of feel the sensation of your body touching, kind of move, maybe straighten your back. You're going to breathe. And again, you're still acknowledging that you're experiencing it. If you've seen the movie Inside Out, you can label what you're feeling. So maybe you're feeling stressed, or maybe you're feeling frustrated. acknowledge that internally or externally, doesn't matter. And it's supposed to only take a minute or two, but it's supposed to kind of ground you back into reality. And it's something that you can also do when you're actually feeling perfectly fine. It's great to practice it at any point. So it's very simple, very easy, but it has been shown to be very effective within the ACT model. So then moving forward, I would like to show you the model of choice point, and that's kind of what we're going to move forward with for the rest of our sessions together. So this is a direction based on the arrow, and it's towards. These are your values and the life that you want it to be. So in the opposite direction is away. These are the things that are pulling you away from what you want your life to be. So an easy kind of example, let's say I want to lose weight and I want to be healthy, but then maybe some of the things that are pulling me away are junk food and not going to the gym and choosing not to do that kind of stuff. So for you, sounds like there's a lot of work stress, particularly about hiring managers and scheduling, or not hiring employees and scheduling all your employees' time schedules and stuff. What kind of goals do you have as far as like your work and the stress? Like a goal that you're working towards?
In regard to this, specifically the stress of my job, or
It could
my
be the
job
stress.
in general?
It could be both. I think just like what would your ideal job look like if you were not so stressed out?
I would not have stress dreams anymore.
You wouldn't have stress what? Oh, stress dreams. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you wouldn't have stress dreams.
So I mean, maybe like leaving work at work would be like really the ultimate.
Do you feel like you bring work home?
In my brain, yeah. I don't
Okay.
necessarily do like physical emails
Right,
or anything, but
right.
I think about it.
Like
a lot.
mentally you bring it home.
Mhm.
Okay. So mentally you would work towards not bringing that home
Mm-hmm.
and leaving it at work, not having stress dreams.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So then the way is a little bit easier. So these are kind of the things like this. These are the stress streams. This is bringing the stress home.
Mm-hmm.
So down here is your thoughts and your feelings regarding the matter. Just going to write it real quick so you can visualize it. So it's thoughts, feelings, emotions. These are all kind of down here at the base of it.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where the choice point is. I'm just going to put CP. And this is where you get to make that decision. And I think what you and I can kind of start working on for a few minutes with the rest of our time is kind of brainstorming what are actual specific things that we want to work towards, kind of like steps. And then the away are the things that are kind of hooking you, they're kind of pulling you back. And that's actually kind of the technical term, is this is just unhooked, freeing yourself from those limitations, going towards your goal. And then with the away, what are these hooked things that are kind of sinking you in and pulling you back? So maybe we can start with the away, the issues, the problems. So what kinds of things are hooking you as far as your stress?
I think a lot of it are those things that aren't concluded at the end of the day, like the things I have to follow up on, or things I like. I like to finish things and like be done with them, and I think with this job there's just a lot that you either have to involve so many people, it takes 10 years to make a decision, or there's lots of steps. So I think like there's some of that open-ended, like, oh well, it's not done yet, so I can't stop, I can't like forget about it and move on kind of thing.
So loose ends.
Mhm.
So tying up loose ends.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As far as like your interaction with the staff, does that generally go well, or do you feel like there's days that?
It does now. I would say when I first came on, it was a little rough. I think now I try really hard to like have clear expectations and good communication, and also not to be a micromanager. So I think generally people, they at least tell me they feel supported.
Okay. So you've earned kind of some of their respect.
Yeah.
Okay. So mainly it's the loose ends, and because you like to have a checklist.
Yeah, and I think it's just a lot of responsibility. Like
Okay.
the fact that I have to decide people's work schedules, which impacts their whole life outside of work, and I have to do it impacting those individuals, but also considering the organization I work for.
Mhm.
Like that's just, it feels like, am I really supposed to be the person making these decisions?
And that's not for me to judge, but yeah, and time
Yeah.
will tell. Yeah,
It's like, oh, don't I need to ask somebody for permission to do this? So.
right. No, it does feel very daunting when you have to make all the decisions and
Mm-hmm.
you don't have a team behind you necessarily. Is there a way? Does the is there a way for you to like leave work at work, like mentally for you?
Probably, but I don't know what it is yet.
Okay, and that's what we're going to work towards.
I love that.
Yeah. So working towards is leaving work at work.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So work at work where it should be. And so then to kind of just quickly tackle it for a night, just to brainstorm maybe something you can kind of work towards for this next week. Do you feel stressed at work?
Yes.
Okay. Would potentially trying to drop anchor be something that you would have a moment or two to implement,
Mm-hmm.
just to kind of ground yourself and think about what's real and what's happening, not to push it away?
Mm-hmm.
Because the premise of ACT, if you were to try and go through life like this is symbolizing your stress.
Mm-hmm.
Would be very difficult to see. So the idea of ACT is to get you to lower it so you can still see it's still there,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just not blinding you.
Mm-hmm.
So if
Yeah, I think I definitely have moments in the day where I can like
Okay.
take a minute and just reset and try to drop the anchor.
drop the anchor, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. And I think that would be some great homework for you to work on, and then we will tackle it next week and get a little bit further into your goals.